So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Oh God. Oh God.
Oh no.
So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. That a fucking live stream died on me midway through. That let's see. So the fucking stream course it. Why am I not surprised that I when I'm like doing some of the best content I've ever made in a long ass time, that's when my fucking live stream goes, hey, let's die. Fucking, why am I not surprised? So, you gotta continue on with what she was saying. Go ahead, Silent Voyager. Continue on. Continue on.
I wish I knew where I dropped off. I guess, you know, what I want to say is at the end of the day, I would love to hear from survivors. We're able to highlight these types of situations. But at the end of the day, if this wasn't broadcast, I know we've both talked about personally having experienced cyberbullying, and we're still here to tell the tale. So if we could take this to another level, if there's a possibility of kind of sharing those stories, you know, I feel like that could help the community as a whole. It could be healing. And stop situations like this, because I think the more that it's talked about, more people will feel empowered to overcome the crap that, you know, you have to wade through when you become a public figure trying to make a difference in an oftentimes very dark world. Does that make sense?
Right. I blame. Keep forgetting. I blame idiots who don't know what the fuck they're doing, don't know what the fuck's going on, and then they sit there and they act like they're perfect people. They act like they're the best thing ever since sliced fucking bread. And that's exactly what it is. They act like they're fucking sliced bread. When in reality they're not. It's fucking unbelievable. And just to make it up to you guys, I will go till about 1:15 unless someone else donates another $5. We will go till 1:15 just to make up for what happened. Because Streamlabs died and someone donated right as they donated. So instead of 15 minutes, I'm adding about an extra 5 to that. But again, if you want to add more time to that, consider donating another $5. But I think we should go ahead and let the video play some more, because there's some more stuff about this individual that should be exposed.
Here's a picture of this individual, right? And their Reddit post. So complete sociopathic behavior. I can't find one threat or doxing threat. What are you talking about? Please no anonymous messages. Something real. What a PR nightmare. OP just needs to burn the account and move on with their life.
So Gotta Pugs wants me to do the Donald Trump impersonation. So give me a moment to find my my suit thing real quick. So feel free to speak, and I'm gonna close my camera for a moment. Have at it.
Okay. So what's, you know, particularly challenging, thinking even like going back a little bit to the comment about being in America, freedom of speech. This is a conversation I feel like I'm constantly having with people. Because we are so lucky to be in a country where we can have the freedom to say certain things, you know. Thinking even like there's now an echo. But being able to express ourselves and there is like an echo right now.
say certain things, being able to
Tims, is there an echo on your end?
There is like an echo right now.
All right, either way, okay. Being in a country that you're able to express your opinions is it's incredibly it's a blessing to live here, because in other countries you could get in so much trouble for expressing your mind and your thoughts, and there's pluses and minuses to that, obviously. Like, speaking to people clearly can end in one ending their life. On the other side, you could use your words to be supportive of, you can use your voice to make a difference in the world, whether it's in like your local community, politics, in your communities, whether it be for a social cause or personal cause. Like, it's I've heard so many stories, where there are people who have gotten arrested just for thinking something. Historically, we've seen what a mess it can be when there are limitations put on the ability to speak freely. But again, it is a double-edged sword as far as like, okay, where is the responsibility? Where does it fall? Like, is the responsibility on the person that, like, you say something and it creates an environment where things can go wrong, like in this case? The online space Reddit specifically created a space where this intense bullying occurred, and to put it plainly, the end result was the death of, Michaela. And looking back and effectively doing an autopsy of the situation, it maybe excuse my phrasing, but what went wrong? Who's ultimately to blame? Do you blame Reddit for providing the platform for people to come in and dogpile on a situation where arguably misinformation was present? And of course, when the subject of said content went in and attempted to defend herself, like, there were so many people moving against her that she had very little ability to defend her cause. And anything she said, nothing was said. She couldn't say anything right, effectively, because there had been so much conversation that these beliefs about her as a person and her cause were embedded within the community. So even if she came in and told the truth about what she was doing, how she was doing it, she was fighting a losing battle at that point. Seriously. Because again, this story had been created and taken root, and God bless Reddit. Because, I mean, admittedly, I enjoy spending time on Reddit, but you really have to be careful because it can mess with you. Depending on what subreddit you're in, and your state of mind can make all of the difference. Whether you're looking at information about, what's some of the ones I've looked into. Whether you're looking into the mental health Reddit, the something about business, or, being a parent, or being child free, or going into, just the am I the a-hole subreddit. Like, there's so many different opinions swirling around in there, and I've had days where being in the wrong mindset, Reddit has ruined my day. But on the other side of it, I've also been able to go to Reddit for comfort because there is the side of it where, depending on the community you're in, it gets relatable and you can feel like you're not the only one going through something. Major issue occurs when it turns into a container where people are being spiteful and all but evil and creating an environment of hate. And again, it's so easy for a mob mentality to occur where, you know, if a correction needs to happen and you're getting the information from the primary source, you know, in the Save the Foxes case, you know, Michaela herself went in and tried to clear up, from my understanding, any misunderstandings about what she was doing, how she was doing it. But the group itself was so full of hatred for her that she didn't have a chance. She had no chance, and I think it was so disheartening for her. You know, when you're so passionate about your cause and your purpose, when you hit those blocks, and her content was very educational, and you know, she invited you into her world. She invited you to better understand the animals in her care. And at the end of the day, like, she wasn't feeling, you know, I can't say I was in her head or anything, but it's like, can you imagine if you're effectively an expert in what you're doing? You know, you've done the work, you know what you're doing, and you're constantly being hit with judgment and, you know, being told that you're not doing good enough, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. What do you do? Who do you turn to? You know, and I think when a lot of hate starts to come not only from your outer world, but starts to show up in your inner world from people you love and at one point trusted, things can get very dark very quickly. You know, and I think sometimes it can feel like the people closest to you don't always understand. So at the end of the day, what occurred here was the perfect storm of events occurring online, events in this woman's personal life, and all you can say is it became too much. Things bubbled over, and as a result, you know, she's no longer with us, and that's a travesty. It's a shame. It shouldn't have happened, and I that's the thing I apparently keep harping on, is this should not have happened. You know, and like Tim said earlier, telling people to stop saying, you know, kill yourself, it's not going to happen. But that doesn't mean like we shouldn't stop as a society. We shouldn't stop telling people that what you say makes a difference. The energy you're putting into the world, it impacts people, it impacts situations. And the more we're able to have discussions like this, you know, being able to highlight these stories, as sad as they are, bring them to the attention. This happened, but it doesn't have to happen again. You know, you're able to help support this woman and her cause through the links, you know, for Save a Fox. But it shouldn't have had to come to this. Her organization shouldn't have received attention because the creator of the organization is no longer with us. You know, the organization should be receiving attention because of the good work that's happening there. And it's disgusting. You know, there's a child without a mom, a husband who lost his wife, his loving partner, and you know, we're sitting here assessing who said what, who did what. But what it comes down to is why. Why did this have to happen? It didn't. Like that's the short answer. This did not have to happen. And that's what's driving passion for me is think before you talk, please. No, think before your words get to that point of making the recommendation of ending your life. I know some people say it's funny, haha, it's a joke. It's not. No. And if you're within your rights, if somebody says that to you, and you know, you can block people. That's the cool thing. There is a block button. Because boundaries need to be set. You don't deserve to be told to end your life. She did not deserve to be bombarded with the things she was told and being told to end her life. You know, there is so much detail to this story. You know, it definitely caught my attention that a lot of outlets are making this a kind of mental health piece and social piece. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a person who had a life, a person who had a family, a person who did amazing work. It's incredibly sad that this is how her work is getting the most attention. It shouldn't be this way. You know, and I think that's the gist of it. No one should have their life's work brought into the public eye because their life ended. No, many artists, you know, their work didn't become valuable until they were no longer with us. That always bothered me. And, you know, I hope something here has been said that maybe stirred something for you listeners. You know, so be kind to each other, be kind to this family. You know, if you're able to, you know, provide support, whether it's subscribing to the channel, making a donation, you know, don't let this story end here. I don't know. This is just very sad at the end of the day.
Well, it's like I've always said before, that these people, they just don't know what they're doing. They always act like they're superior to everybody else. But we all know that I'm the greatest president that ever lived, that everybody's ever known. That's right, Donald Trump is back, and I'm here to talk about the horrors of what happened. It's truly tragic what happened. It's just very tragic. It's so sad. It should have never happened. And if I had been president, I would have put every one of these people in concentration camps where they belong. And they would have been deported out of this country. They should have been deported a while ago. But of course, they always get away with these horrible crimes. There's a reason why people voted me back in office and ignored the fact that I'm drinking my special tea. It's just so depressing. It's so horrible what happened. It's truly tragic. And they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And so that's why I need to step up and make a new special law to ban TikTok. Not Reddit, ban TikTok. Because it's TikTok's fault. It's all China's fault. It's always ever been China's fault. And that's how we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna ban it like that, and we're gonna sell it to a different country, you know. And like I said, anybody that speaks otherwise is fake news. You're fake news, and you know it. Everybody here knows it. Everybody here understands it. That's why people want to make America great again. We've always known that, and we always will know that. And that's why I'm going to be the greatest president that ever lived. My tariffs are going to hurt them so hard that they don't even know where it's going to be coming from. And as far as I'm concerned, they're gonna suffer. They're always gonna suffer. They're gonna have to deal with it because that's just how it is. Welcome to my America. And I'm gonna build a wall around them with the biggest, most tremendous wall that you've ever seen. It will be just so tremendous and so large that every one of them is gonna have to pay me millions of dollars just to be able to access the internet through my new phone called the Trump phone. It's better than the iPhone. It's better than any Android you can buy, and it offers you all the American freedoms without any of the spying. You can get it today, linked in the Patreon below. That's all I have to say. Go ahead. The president wants to hear what you have to say.
Interesting, and like that's an interesting take on things.
That's what I said. I'm going to build the most tremendous wall.
Now, who's paying for that wall?
Mexico's going to pay for that wall. Mexico's going to pay for that wall. Your husband requested that I finish this live stream as Donald Trump, so I will be finishing this live stream as Donald Trump. I'm horrible. Anyways, go ahead.
I feel like I said a lot. I just hope the conversation doesn't end here. You know, I've seen this too many times. You know, something sensational happens, it lasts a couple news cycles, and then it dies. I'm just hoping the listeners here, you know, take all of this into account and that it makes an impact. You know, whether it's just talked about in conversation or they share videos related, you know, ours included. That's ultimately what I hope happens here.
Well, ultimately, we're gonna have to deport crooked Joe Triton, Joe Triton, and we need to deport that tariff, that rampant tampon called NIF. They're the reason why Reddit acts like the way it does. So if we deport them, we would save this country from all the disaster, and I mean horrible disasters, all the innocent people who are being hurt by them. I'm just saying we need to deport people. There's a lot of deporting and building walls. And we're going to put more tariffs on them, especially on Reddit. Let's put more tariffs on Reddit and make Reddit pay. Because Reddit needs to pay dearly for what they've done. Because they've just committed the greatest sin ever. And that's why I'm going to be the greatest president that ever lived. Me, Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Timms. I'm going to be the greatest president that ever lived. Oh yeah, that you see, Gotta Pug's got it right. There's a reason why I'm the greatest screamer that ever lived and ever will live. So as far as I'm concerned, all of you should vote for me for president and join my Patreon. Yes, the Ravencast is CNN, and so we need to get rid of the Ravencast because all they do is they spout fake news. All they've ever done is spout fake news. So if we deported them, we would be in a much better state. We all know that. So we need to build a wall around them as well, and Mexico will pay for that too. On top of the taxation from the terrorists from Reddit. We should taxate Reddit $1,000 for every comment they make about a person. That's horrible. If it's a comment that compliments them, then it's free. But if it's a comment that criticizes them, it must be at least $1,000. So that way people like this would stop being harassed and the country would be able to pay off its debts. I guarantee it. And if you vote for me for president in the next election, I can make that happen. That is a total promise. And Son of Voyager will be my running mate.
Running mate or Speaker of the House, although that might be challenging.
She will be the cutest vice president you ever seen. What is this bullshit to? What
is?
What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? So just I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to keep up that voice. That voice is killing me. But there you go. Got a Pugs. You wanted your Donald Trump impersonation. There you go. You got it. I hope you enjoyed it. You owe me $5, by the way. Anyways, so let's continue with the video. Let's get back to being serious. The place in. Well, here's the thing. We're not even at 1:15 because technically he donated for 15 more minutes. So I gotta be respectful to the donator, doing our 15 minutes. So about 1:15 the stream will end. So why don't we go ahead and at least finish hearing out the rest of this horrible human being and what they had to say and do. Let's go ahead.
Child wrote this. Obviously, this person has now fled the internet. Disturbingly, the rabbit hole of Devanzo goes a bit deeper than Michaela Rains and Save a Fox incident. My team was also able to find some past friends of Devanzo have put forward evidence suggesting that Devanzo is actually a zoophile. If you want to know what that is, look it up. And had previously expressed...
Zoophile is someone who basically violates their animal by using them for explicit activities, is what I'm going to phrase that as. That's what a zoophile is. So, there you go. So if you didn't know, now you know. Congratulations. Donald Tibbs just taught you that. So if you enjoyed learning, subscribe to my channel.
Bedroom interests with their cat. Some users are also reporting Devanzo had created zoophilic and the creepazoid, the terrible stuff, artwork. One user actually posted screenshots from a Discord server showing Devanzo admitting to have, quote, intrusive thoughts about doing horrible bedroom things with the cat. Okay. As early as 2022, people were expressing concern about Devanzo's zoophilia and requested that they be blocked from online communities due to their disturbing behavior. Devanzo has now deleted their entire social media presence, but it's worth noting that this was not the only person behind all of this. A second identified perpetrator was actually on Tumblr, not Reddit. Of course, Tumblr. And coincidentally is also trans. What a coincidence. Known as, quote, Is the owl video cute? And I've got images to display here on the screen for you.
Holy
The user has been attempting to deny that they were responsible for any of this, but bizarrely has also claimed that anyone defending Reigns is some sort of racist and that Palestine is more important. Literally what?
Oh my God. Just hold up real quick. Just.
Oh my God!
Just wow. Just fucking wow. What do you want to say to that? What can you say to any of this anymore?
No. Just no. No. You know, like I said earlier, I'm not shocked. It's one of those things. If you're doing one thing, you're doing other things as well. It's. I'm not shocked. You know, like I got nothing. It's just not. That's wrong.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's fucking horrible.
Wow. Just fucking wow. Let's hear a little bit more. Let's hear just a little bit more, and then we're gonna end the stream. Let's hear just a little more. Just a little more.
And I mean, you could go through some of these. You say that you didn't make her do this, but you sent a lot of people to attack her. Geez, go F off and never come back. You know, and then other messages. Hate to say it, but some of these anods make me want to commit hate crimes in Pride Mouth. You know, and these people, it's, you know, going saying it's because she's white, but she's also because she would rather watch soft, cute videos of fluffy animals than focus on the atrocities their countries commit. So what they're saying is us obsessing and trying to ruin this woman's life is totally fine because Palestine. You might think that's crazy, but again, I have the receipts. More comments from Is the Owl Video Cute? It's hilarious to watch these other nines get so worked up about this. There are people getting bombed in the Middle East, and all y'all care about is some animal abuser taking their own life. Again, these people are deranged psychopaths. Now, you have to have a Tumblr account to get at a lot of these messages, but thankfully my team went into that toxic cesspit and got some of them. You could see a lot of these messages, you know, where Is the Owl Video Cute is posting obsessively about this individual, saying, I strongly encourage the U.S. to report her to the USFWS. She has no business with those animals, and I doubt she is properly licensed for them. I'm sure this person is a complete expert.
Wow.
You know, an anonymous Tumblr user in 2025 must be a complete expert, right? These are the same type of people that, you know, called Child Protective Services on Ethan Klein.
Yep.
You know, posting, there's no reason to post yourself in videos with lingerie for, you know, there's nothing wrong with posting videos of yourself in lingerie for any reason. But wild animals don't really need to be used as props. Maybe that money was getting used to save the foxes. You know, this woman also accused her of being an animal hoarder through and through. Anyone who's ever had or at least attempted to own one horse knows how expensive these animals are. Again, a complete moron.
Obviously, they've never owned a fucking farm. And they've never taken care of a fucking horse a day in their goddamn life. It is so fucking clear these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This is unfucking believable. This is why they need to be deported. They just need to be reported back to the country they belong in, because they don't belong in the United States. They're more useless than sleeping Joe Biden or crooked Triton. We all know it. Fucking wow. With that, I don't know what else to say. I'm out of words. I'm out of things to say. So I have asked my boss, Adam, to come on and give his thoughts. So Adam, with everything you have heard and seen, what is your opinion as an outsider to everything? What is your opinion?
Well, I think that people shouldn't encourage other people to kill themselves or hurt other people, but that's my opinion. my honest opinion that everyone should get along, and I know that's never going to happen, but I think a little bit of human decency and respect is in order for the vast majority of the populace. That helps.
It's so horrible. So, but Silent Voyager, what is your opinion on this? Like your final thoughts before we end this stream.
You know, like final thoughts, if I had to condense it all, I'd say people need to think about what they're saying and what they're doing and the implications. Like this poor woman, like watching the video, she was creating content that was educational. She was in her own lane, you know, and what right do people have to be throwing verbal crap at her or doing things that, like, what are they doing at the end of the day? They're behind a computer screen checking her licenses. Like, I don't know, but she's doing something productive. What was done to her was incredibly unproductive. Like I said it once, I'll say it again. People need to stay in their own lane, and the whole kill yourself thing needs to stop.
And honestly, I think all three of us here can agree with that, and the chat's agreeing with us. But our time is up. No more donations have come in. So thank you. I just want to say real quick to thank you to both Adam and a special thank you to Silent Voyager for coming on. You two give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you for having me.
What is it? And with all that, I'm gonna say to thank you everybody who was watching, who showed up, showed out, showed support. A special thank you to Barcode for your donation. I'll try to make sure your name gets put up on the Streamlabs tag there, and I'll fix the Streamlabs link later. But until next time, this is AJ Timms, Adam, the Extreme Techie, and Silent Voyager. We're all signing out from the TimbsCast. Thank you again so much. And until next time, fuck everybody who cost her life. They can all go fuck themselves. Good night, everybody.
Peace. Yeah, have fun.
Many of you know the story of Sable Fox.